City. One operator dial to is the address of your emergency. Okay, ma'am, please.
3101. It's 130, so 130.
Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address.
3101.
You're gonna die. I can't feel my arm.
3101.
I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am.
So my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
What's that? What's the address, baby?
31.
3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend.
Ma'am, is this a house apartment or a business?
512-745-2582.
Is this a house apartment or a business?
Baby, I'm so sorry. Baby.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
If he has a stab wound to his shoulder, can he sit down?
What do you mean he has a stab wound on his shoulder, ma'am?
Yeah, he's bleeding from his shoulder.
Rescue, this is PD position 2. The caller, ma'am, hold on one moment. The caller advised the address is 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, 31 Northeast 7th Avenue. The phone number is verified. The caller advised that her boyfriend has a stab wound. Okay, is this a house, apartment, or a business?
Listen, please, God, please, God. Please, God, please, God.
Listen, ma'am. I'm sending help. I need you to tell me exactly what happened. I'm sending help. How old is he? Ma'am, how old is he? Is he awake? Hello? Hello? PD, are you still on the line? Yes, we're still on the line. She didn't provide a room number or anything. No, did she tell you where he was stabbed at? She said he was stabbed on his shoulder. Okay. Do you know if there's more than one wound? No, she didn't say. She just kept screaming on the line saying that he was dying, and that he needed help, and she kept apologizing. But we do have a call at that same address in reference to a fight that happened. The room number could possibly be 2201, because we already have a call that 2 people are fighting inside of that room. So they're possibly related. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give her a call back, but we do have rescue on the way, okay? Okay, thank you. Is PD responding on a 3? Yes, we're responding.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez, and today we are covering episode 4 of the Courtney Clenney OnlyFans star who stabbed her boyfriend to death. And so we're going to be diving into what do we know. As I mentioned, this is episode 4, so you can catch up on all of this whole story on what we've covered right down below in the playlist. Let's go ahead and dive into it, why don't we? In today's episode, we are covering OnlyFans star Courtney Clenney. She stabbed her boyfriend, and by the sound of that video, of that sound that I shared with you, the 911 call, when after she stabbed him, you can hear in her voice that she probably didn't want to take it so far as to killing him. And this is what domestic violence does, right? You never plan on killing the person until it's too late and you wish you can take it back. And now she's defending herself against the charges, and she's claiming self-defense. What we do know is they had a very tumultuous relationship by all accounts. Their friends say that she was the abuser for the most part. Her defense and family says he was the abuser. I can tell you this, They both had their problems, but nothing should have led to a killing. And so now Courtney Clenney's has some text messages that have come out against her. You see, Courtney Clenney's boyfriend sent her a series of disturbing text messages, including one that accused her of cheating and slapping his stitches just weeks before she allegedly stabbed him to death. And the startling new text messages that were released by the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office gives a glimpse into the alleged physical and verbal abuse Christian Obumseli endured during his tempestuous relationship with Clenney. He shared, "February was the worst month I had so far." This is what the 27-year-old cryptocurrency trader Christian Obumseli had wrote to the social media darling Courtney Clenney just weeks before his April 2022 death. And he shares, "I got cheated on. I got called that word again." He's referring to the N word. "I got slapped in my stitches that has reopened multiple times and it's not healing fast enough." Courtney, who she boasts 2 million Instagram followers and had a once thriving OnlyFans account under the name Courtney Taylor. She is now facing second-degree murder raps for allegedly stabbing a knife into Obumseli's chest during an argument at their Miami apartment, where they were already trying to evict these two because of all the problems going on in that relationship. And prosecutors have painted her as the manipulative aggressor in their troubled relationship and have slowly publicly released damning pieces of evidence to bolster their claims. In an October 2021 text reported by the Miami Herald on this past Thursday, Obumseli indicated that he had brushed off Clenney, stabbing him in the leg. And you can read this here. Like, I know both of us have sacrificed a lot for each other, but I can only talk about what I sacrificed. I have sacrificed my pride and my ego, sometimes telling myself how I don't need to win. Hey, just let her have her way. This is the text message from Christian to Courtney. And you can read this for yourself. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he talks about different things, like being stabbed previously from her, which is extremely, extremely damaging for her defense. Because he talks about, her stabbing him and like, what if the knife sliced my lip and it wasn't sliced by my beard, my cheek, my eye? What might happen next time? I pray there is no next time like that. Well, unfortunately, Christian, you're not here for me to hear this. You're not here to hear this, but there was a next time and you didn't make it. I'm so sorry. Rest in peace, Christian Obumseli. And again, you can see by some of these texts, and he's sharing about previously being stabbed. The crazy thing about all of this is that yesterday there must probably be a curse in there or something, stabbed me in the curse leg. She stabbed him in the leg, and you saw how, I'm guessing a curse is in there. Bad it was hurting me, and I couldn't, probably a curse, walk. I couldn't do blah, blank. And you were telling me I wish I could take your pain away. I wish it was me and not you. And, I do believe they loved each other in a weird way. But by the sound of that recording that I shared, and hopefully YouTube doesn't block me from the recording, but you can hear by that recording, she didn't mean to kill him. It just went too far this time. And now she's going to have to pay the piper. My thought is she didn't mean to kill him. I don't know what she was thinking by stabbing him, but I'm guessing killing him was probably not part of that plan. I'm just guessing. And so, and you can see that it says, I still gave you a good day. Even though my leg was hurting because my girlfriend stabbed me, he writes in the text. Did I make you feel like SHIT for stabbing me? No. Just sucked it up and hoped tomorrow will be better. And the text depicts Clenney treating Obumseli as a meek submissive, telling him at one point that she was tired having to explain to you how to act. Another exchange indicates that Obumseli required medical treatment after Clenney gashed him during a fight. She even says, enjoy the hospital. She told him after the incident. From his hospital bed, Obumseli texted Clenney repeatedly asking him why she was ignoring him while he recovered from the wounds she inflicted. She apologized to him days after the incident, and she says, I love you so much, Christian. I should have been at the hospital with you, and I should have slept next to you. I always have, she writes. Elsewhere, Obumseli muses about ruining her career by revealing her behavior. Like, honestly, think to yourself, I've cut this person's face. I have stabbed him. I have called him out of his name to the highest level, he wrote. And he could, if he was an evil person, he can ruin my career. He can go to the police, go to the courtroom. And that was him texting her. In August, prosecutors released disturbing video showing Clenney fighting with her boyfriend in an elevator just 2 months before. And if you saw my last video, I did share that video. And so you can go to episode 3 if you wanted to watch the whole video. Clenney claims that she killed Obumseli in self-defense, casting him as an unpredictable stalker. Her lawyer, Frank Prieto, he said the text did not reflect the totality of their toxic relationship. The attorney also suggested that he has evidence corroborating Clenney's version of events that will emerge in court. He says the evidence provided to the media as part of public discovery by the state attorney's office is a one-sided snapshot in time. He said in a statement, it's not the whole story, it's missing context. The most sensational pieces of evidence are being cherry-picked by reporters without proper context to feed the public's curiosity with this case. In cell phone recordings, Courtney Clenney can be heard berating her boyfriend Christian Obumseli, hurling insults at him, calling him a racist slur, and seemingly slapping him. The videos were taken by Obumseli himself on his cell phone sometime before April 3rd when Clenney fatally stabbed him with a 6-inch kitchen knife in the couple's luxury Miami apartment. Clenney has been charged with Obumseli's murder, but she claims she acted in self-defense. 3 brief recordings were provided in the discovery phase of the murder case against Clenney and first published by the Miami Herald. In a 5-minute video that appears to have been taken inside the couple's apartment, the lens is mostly blocked. But Clenney could be heard demanding Obumseli find her cell phone and berating him for talking to another woman. She says, shut up and let me effing slap you, dumbass. She says this and repeatedly screams for her phone, her voice ragged and hoarse. Find my effing phone and charge it, she says. You always wanted to F her, she says, referring to a woman Obumseli apparently spoke to without telling her. And he says, I was on a bike ride and she passed me. And I said, hi, you and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a effing Nigg, you know the rest. Clenney replies, you're an effing Nigger. Then there's the sound of a slap. Later in the clip, Obumseli calls Clenney a pet name as he seemingly continues to look for her phone. He says, you remember the last place you had it, Cece? Cece, I'm guessing, is that pet name, which means Courtney Clenney. And so, nope, find it, she responds. Decide whether or not you're done gaslighting me, Clenney says in another clip. This is a minute-long video that appears to have been taken in the lobby of their apartment building, One Paraiso. Now, she interrupts Obumseli when he tries to speak. But later you can hear him say, I apologized, but you hit me, he would eventually say. She lowers her voice to a whisper. Shut the F up, B-I-T-C-H, she says. B-I-T-C-H. Don't effing say that. Now, police body camera footage taken in the same lobby was also recently made public in Discovery. And this is part of that discovery. And it shows Clenney speaking with officers who were responding to a 911 call from building staff just days before the stabbing. A former building staffer told Rolling Stone Clenney had shoved Obumseli out of the elevator that night, and an employee in the video told police Obumseli had charged toward Clenney in the lobby. In that recording, Clenney alternated between rage and desperation, telling police she wanted to be exonerated of wrongdoing and saying that she wanted a restraining order against Obumseli. And Clenney's lawyers said in a TV interview that footage proved her defense, while a lawyer for Obumseli's family called it self-serving. The latest recordings offer the first opportunity since the investigation began for the public to hear the couple interacting, providing further insight into their troubled dynamic in a case that hinges upon who was the victim and who was the abuser. When announcing Clenney's arrest, prosecutors released surveillance footage of Clenney pushing and hitting Obumseli in the elevator in their residence, but there is no sound. You can just see her wailing on him over and over, and he's pushing her away like, my gosh, leave me alone, leave me alone. Again, you can watch it in episode 3 of this series. Attorneys for Clenney say the newly released recordings illustrate the couple's toxic relationship, but lack context. She's not gonna trial for her lifestyle, her previous arguments, or recorded rants, her legal team said in a statement to Rolling Stone. She is going to trial for defending herself against a violent struggle with her ex-boyfriend for which she feared for her life. Courtney is a victim of domestic abuse. Snapshots of evidence without any context will prevent our client from receiving a fair trial, where the evidence will show that Courtney acted in self-defense. And, you can see here, this was after this is when her fake nails were off. You can see the way her hands look. And this is some video. This is actually some images of the crime scene. There's a lot more out there, but I'm not going to share all that because it's really damaging stuff, but it's not really. I mean, you'll probably see it if you go look for it. But Larry Hanfield, a lawyer for Obumseli's family, described the recordings as shocking. I see it as a consistent pattern with someone who is unhinged and out of control, he said. She is the aggressor and abuser in this whole relationship. Ahead of Clenney's arrest, friends of the couple believed Clenney had been the aggressor in an abusive relationship with Obumseli, whom they claimed they had never seen be violent towards her. when Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle announced the murder charge against Clenney in August. She said Obumseli had died the victim of domestic abuse. Clenney's attorneys have maintained that she stabbed him in self-defense before trying to help him. She tried to administer first aid as best she could. She called 911, Clenney's attorney Frank Prieto shared in May. She got covered in his blood, trying to save his life. In the longest recording, which runs more than 7 minutes, Obumseli can be heard begging Clenney to get back in the car over the sounds of traffic and blaring horns. A bystander attempts to calm her down. Clenney sounds extremely agitated and says that she wants to kill herself, then explains to a man who's pulled over amid the chaos that she got into an altercation with someone in another car. I opened the door and I got out and I effing hit him. And then, Obumseli said, go apologize to that man. She says, I feel like I don't have anywhere to go but my head. Now, when Clenney stabbed Obumseli, she was questioned by police, then Baker acted, meaning committed involuntarily for mental health treatment. Now, Clenney's lawyer, Prieto, said at the time this was because she had threatened to harm herself. After that, Obumseli's family has questioned why it took authorities more than 4 months to make an arrest. They believed she was receiving special treatment because she was a white woman and Obumseli a black man. At the time of Clenney's arrest, Prieto has stated she was in rehab for PTSD and substance abuse. In the video taken by the roadside, Obumseli and the bystander asked Clenney to breathe and relax. And Christian is saying to her, Cece, just stop, please, Obumseli was telling her. She replies, F you. You make yourself look good in front of people. He says he's sorry for trying to make her apologize to the person she hit in the other car. And she says again, F you. She says this repeatedly. You just told me to effing apologize to a lowlife. Slaps can be heard before the video ends. And he says, stop effing hitting me. It's okay. Just stop. And, you know, here's the truth. They both shared their hiccups. They both had their problems. And that's not what this video is about. This video is about domestic violence gone so bad that someone lost their life. Here's another image that you can see of the crime scene. And there was blood around there. I tried to keep it away. And this is when Christian Obumseli was loaded into the ambulance. Rest in peace, Christian. And this is the one Paraiso building that they lived in, that they were really close to being evicted from. And so the thing about this, you know, I've heard a lot of people say negative things about Christian. I've heard a lot of people say negative things about Courtney. Personally, I don't see her getting out of this. That's just my opinion. She's definitely going to be charged with something. Because so far, I would think it's more siding with him. From what I've gathered around this case, it's more sided with him being abused more than her. No one can say, there was a neighbor once that said something, but we haven't even heard from that neighbor again. So we don't know. We've not heard enough proof on whether he actually hit her ever. And so, you know, I don't know him. I know that allegedly some people were kind of downed him because he really wasn't into maybe African-American women. I'm not too sure. I've heard some people saying some negative things online about that. I don't care about that. That is not what this is about. I do care if he felt negative towards them. Why? But again, at the end of the day, I can't answer that. But what I do know is here is another act of violence between a domestic partners went way too far. And as he said, she previously stabbed him multiple times. So that's not looking good. If there is more proof to that, that's not looking good at all. And so, my friends, this is what I say we have to be careful. You know, our rage and anger could get the best of us. And that's where we have to be extremely careful. I honestly believe Courtney would like to take this back. I do believe that. But if it didn't happen then, was it going to happen again if they stay another time, if they even stay together? That's my point. My friends, if you're in a toxic relationship, if you have any signs of these things going on, you got to do something about it before it's too late. Before one snaps on the other. Let's be real, this is not the first time it's happened. Unfortunately, it's not the last time it happened. I shared a live yesterday, I think it was yesterday, where a mom of 3 was brutally beaten on camera. And she shared this on Facebook. And she shared it with the police. And the husband was released with no bail. And what happens? He fatally shoots her in her car while her 3 kids are in the back. There's always a breaking point, but there's red flags before that breaking point. If you ignore one red flag, if you ignore another, it only escalates. It only escalates, my friends. So if you don't catch yourself and get out of that relationship, whether it's you protecting yourself from the other or them, or protecting yourself from them, my friends, be careful, be alert, be aware. Know that this could happen. This could happen if you're in a toxic relationship. It's just the truth. My friends, if this is the type of content you like to follow, please hit that subscribe button, because I want to keep you aware of what could go wrong in this crazy world, and I want to be a voice for the victims, because they're taken from this world way too soon. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Deep True Crime, and I look forward to serving you and being a voice for the victims again. Peace. Have a great day, my friends.